here's what I would say. Here's the story. And we're a culture of taking notes. So I see a lot of you taking notes, which I love. So here's the story. It starts with, here's what I learned. Here's what I learned. Now, why would I say that? Here's why I say, here's what I learned. Because most people don't like know-it-alls. Now, I live in Texas, and I can tell you, we do not like know-it-alls. And I have a feeling if you're in Oklahoma City, it's probably the same thing. If you're in California, Florida, we don't like know-it-alls. Know-it-alls, basically, they don't say I'm a know-it-all, but they keep talking for so long, and they keep showing off what they know that you're like, oh, I didn't ask for all this. Right? I just wanted to hear the short version. When you say, here's what I learned, it gets rid of the know-it-all. And the more we know about zeal, for example, right? I'm a newbie. I'm still learning zealicious and zealot, and zeal up. But over time, I'm going to learn so much stuff like Kirby, then I'm going to feel like I need to say everything about it. But we don't, right? Those of you that know how to sell a lot of zeal, you'd probably keep it pretty simple on the front end. So I say, here's what I learned, and it gets rid of the know-it-all. I know that most people do like to learn because I know they're listening to hour-long podcasts and they're double-clicking on ChatGPT and all this stuff. And they want you to get to the point, right? And that's really important. In the beginning, they want you to get to the point. So I say, here's what I learned. I hold up a hand because no matter what context I'm in, I have my hands with me, right? So if I don't have the slides or if I don't have whatever, or phone, I still have my hands. So it duplicates. Most people have two hands. And I say, imagine this is an omega-3, right? It's an omega-3, or let me go with an omega-6. Imagine this is an omega-6. Now, I had no idea what an omega-6 was. I really didn't. I'd heard of it, but I have no idea what that is. So what I learned is, just write that down. What I learned is, it's essential. Now, some of you are going to say, ooh, that's easy. Essential. Your body's got to have it, but your body doesn't make it. Just write that down. Your body has to have it, but your body doesn't make it. That's pretty simple. Now, here's what I'm going to warn you, Rebecca. Right? You've got that beautiful background there. I just love it. Right? The trees and the mountain. Yeah, I love it. Very uplifting. Now, Rebecca, you're disappearing act. Like you can be a magician. I like the way you did that. What's going to happen is, Rebecca, you're going to find out, and you may already know this, that essential is actually essential fatty acid. Oh, an omega-6 is an essential fatty acid. And you're going to want to, because it's human nature, all of us do, I'm not picking on you, Rebecca, is at some point we're going to want to say, oh, this is an omega-6. It's an essential fatty acid. And what are we doing? We're catering to our ego because we want to show off that we know these fancy words. That can come later. All we need to do is say it's essential. So this is an omega-6. It's essential. Your body doesn't make it. And your body has to have it and your body doesn't make it. Put that hand down, lift up this hand and say, then I learned this is an omega-3. Now I'd heard of an omega-3 before, right? This is like the popular omega, like the Taylor Swift of omegas. Everybody's heard of omega-3. And what I learned is that omega-3 is essential. Your body doesn't make it, but your body has to have it. So you have to get it from your food or a supplement. Both of these you have to get from a food or a supplement. So now your candidates heard it twice. They realized these are both essential, the 6 and the 3. Your body has to have both. Your body doesn't make both, and you have to get both from your food or a supplement. Pretty straightforward, right? Now I'm slowing this down, but you could cover that in 60 seconds. What I do recommend is that you don't cover it too quickly because you've said it too many times, right? Let it breathe. Give it some space. Let them interject if they want, because they'll be like, oh yeah, omega-3s, I've heard of those. Those are amazing. Great. Let them talk. Then bring them back and say, so what I found out is there's a difference between the two. The 6 creates inflammation, and your body has to create inflammation, and your body does need to create it once in a while. If you cut your finger or sprain your ankle, there are times where you need to go do that because you don't want to, you want to stop bleeding, right? So essential omega-6s are pretty good. And the omega-3, that's the anti-inflammatory. Now, if you want to go high level, okay, so this is like advanced training, Charles, right? I'm seeing you paying attention, right? High level is you could even do this. You can say, when you hold up that omega-6 and you say it's the inflammatory, you can even make a scrunchy face. Ooh, it's the inflammatory. I know, you got to practice a couple times without the scrunchy face. But the scrunchy face basically implies you don't want too many of those, right? And then when you do the omega-3, you can do the smiley face. And then you don't have to do this right away. I'm just giving you the next level, right? And it works really well. So this one creates inflammation. This one fights inflammation. And then I found out that I shouldn't have any more than 3 of these omega-6s, the inflammatories for every one of these omega-3s, anti-inflammatories in my cells. And it's in every cell of my body. And if I'm 3 to 1 or better, I'm in the omega safe zone. Just write that down, omega safe zone. And most people want to be in the safe zone, right? Would you agree? Yeah, that's what I'm finding out. And if I'm higher than 3 to 1, 25 to 1, 50 to 1, 100 to 1, 250 to 1, I'm in the danger zone. And here's the transition. I had to find out if I'm in the danger zone or not. Just write that down. I had to find out. And then what do? We just tell the story. So a friend of mine told me about this test called the balance test. I didn't have to make an appointment at the hospital or the doctor's office. I just took it at home. And then I found out if I was in the danger zone or the safe zone, because my personal belief is being in the danger zone is one of the biggest health risks that people face. They just don't know it. And we can help them with that. And then share your test results. Mine was 20 to 1. Horrific. And then there's going to be an emotion that comes with that. So when you share the test results, the ratio, don't just jump through the ratio, right? Basically, Kara, if you're sharing your result, and I'm going to say yours is better than mine, yours was 15 to 1, share how that made you feel, right? The emotion is what people remember. We went through an election recently, and I can guarantee you that most people didn't, vote based on a number. They voted based on emotion. So some people get angry. I did, because I knew at that moment my family was probably in the danger zone as well, and that's on me. Some people get relief. Wow, I've had this thing happening in my life for so long. None of the health experts know what it is, and maybe this is what needs to be fixed. Some people get anxious. Oh no, what do I do? Right? Now, why do we have this out of balance? Well, the reason is, if here in Houston, I have a place called H-E-B. It's a grocery store, like a Safeway, right? We call it here, everything's better. And the H-E-B, basically, if you go to a grocery cart and you look at the average grocery cart, if they're spending $100 that day on groceries, 99 of those dollars are spent on these yucky omega-6s, right? And $1 out of the 100 is spent on the omega-3s, the anti-inflammatories. And that's part of what's causing the problem. So if you're spending $500, $1,000 on groceries, $990 of that is omega-6s and $10 is omega-3s, and that's not enough to get you into the safe zone. So you can either buy more omega-3 foods, so your grocery bill is going to go up quite a bit. You got to start eating 6 cans of sardines a day. How many of you want to do that? Or for $43, you get all that omega-3, right? So it's like adding $43 to your shopping cart bill for the month and taking care of one of the biggest health risks that you're probably facing right now. And as people understand this, it becomes pretty straightforward. So if you're taking notes, here are the 3 options that we're giving people. Just think of it like you're stepping them through 3 options. People like to be given choices, right? Option number 1 is, now that I've showed you the omega hands, right? Do you want to find out if you're in the danger zone? Do you want to find out? And then I'll talk to Chris. Chris, do you want to find out? He'll say, yeah, I don't know. I'm a risky kind of guy. I think I'll just go ahead and take a chance and live with inflammation. Like, okay, I gave you the choice, right? So that's option number 1. And what you don't want to have happen is that 10 years from now, I'm talking to Chris and he says, oh my gosh, Art, you wouldn't believe it. This just happened to one of my children and my wife. And then I've got this health challenge. And then I was reading in People magazine as I was checking out of the grocery store, there's Taylor Swift and a bunch of other celebrities, and they're all talking about being in the omega safe zone. And then I realized that's probably what I should have done. And then you have to tell them the reality that, I've known about it for 10 years. But I was just so selfish that I didn't bother to tell you about it. You don't want to have that happen, right? What you want to have happen is to say, Chris, remember those hands I did? And I was nervous because I was just learning about it. And then I said, do you want to find out if you're in the danger zone? Because I've taken care of that problem. And you said, nah, I'm a risky kind of guy. I'd rather just not worry about it. And then I followed up with you like once a year or twice a year, and you just kept saying no. And you're off the hook, right? So let's at least agree to give as many people the choice of saying, I don't want to find out, as we can in March. Can we all agree to that? Right? Just practice the hands and watch a recording of this. And at first, it's not going to be smooth and perfect, and that's okay. Your friends aren't going to judge you. They're still going to be interested because it's interesting.